Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone, and hope you are doing well. Well, this video is not like my usual ones. I mean, this one is a bit different. What I'm doing here is I'm literally giving you a gift here. I'm offering a gift to all my students. You see, if there is a book that all students need to read, like I mean all students, it's not like just for one who are studying didactics or they are studying literature, but I mean all students. That's either culture, literature, I think even civilization here can be included. Of course, if we are talking about the notion of language teaching. Now, the book in front of you, as you can see, it's about context and cultural language teaching, and this book is one of my favorites. Let's say why it is my favorite, because it tackles the subject of language teaching literally in a different in different manners as you used to. Like for example, when you read books, usually it contains approaches and methods and definitions. But this book, it goes beyond that. In fact, it tells you, I mean, how all the elements are together. For example, how all these approaches are organized. So it's something like it's really, I think, every student needs to read. So let's see, for example, what do we have in the index, and you can see the titles are so interesting. You have the introductions, dubious dichotomies, educational challenges, context of speech, social interactions. There is also mentioning concerning culture. There's mentioning of literature. All these are mentioned in this book. Okay, so I'm trying to give you a sample, so at least to really increase the curiosity, your curiosity. And let's see, for example, here, let's go to this title because it's really one of the titles I really love to read. So let's see, for example, we have dubious dichotomies and deceptive symmetries. What is it about? Allow me to read for you. Now we have with the ebb and flow of education philosophies and methodologies themselves, reaction to larger social political events, language teaching has tended to swing between what is viewed as opposite extremes. And this is a very interesting idea because it really strikes the core of didactics. This idea of extreme opposites. We have grammatical versus functional syllabuses, teacher-centered versus student-centered, cognitive classrooms. We have cognitive versus experiential learning styles and learning-based versus acquisition-based pedagogies. This is something that's really that we are teaching. So, for example, for our students, we teach them, for example, the grammar translation method. Then we teach them that there is the direct method, but always we often miss the point that there is called an extreme point when you have the grammar translation on one hand and you have the direct method on the other hand. So these swings have been nurtured by the belief in the linear progressive development of the ideal language learning environment and the illusion with the betrayal of earlier teaching method. The idea of the betrayal of early teaching method, I agree that maybe this style is a bit not as we used to see. It's not like really objective, but the betrayal means, for example, when you talk about the grammar translation method, the grammar translation method, many people say this was not effective. It was effective, but it was not effective, for example, when it comes to our standard now that we need, for example, language communication and we need communicators, students who can communicate. In this regard, the grammar translation method fails to do that. This is something. So we have, for example, professional rhetoric views the functional notional approach as having superseded the audio-lingual method and have been superseded itself by the proficiency-oriented curriculum. Here it talks about the types of curriculum, and it's so important for those if ever question, if you are asked a question, either for example, an exam, a PhD entrance exam, if you are asked a question about the types of curriculum, you have to go back to the notion about the relief of language itself because it's part of the curriculum itself. This is just an example of one title. Let me move to another title, for example, language versus literature. These especially with students, if you are asked question, can we teach literature or how we teach literature? I think if you read this, you'll find it so interesting. We have as a language teachers are encouraged to help their students not only to read text for information, but to interpret them for their many layers of meaning. It would seem natural to draw on literature as means of teaching language. Yet some teachers still feel hesitant to use literary text in the language classroom. That hesitation is often a reflex of academic self-defense. As language teachers, they are told they are competent only to teach language, not literature. This is something so good. I mean, the way the author really presents his ideas or her ideas really, really so charming. I like this book, and I really love that every student should read from this book and should take quotes because it's so good. Also, for example, if you are interested in culture and perhaps you want to pass an exam in culture, this is also so good. So, language versus culture. See, the same hesitation about teaching of literature and language classes can be found with the teaching of culture. One often reads in teachers' guidelines that language teaching consists of teaching the four skills plus culture. See, this is the idea of a plus culture. This dichotomy of language and culture is entrenched feature of language teaching around the world. See, this is really amazing. So something that I would love you really to read. And of course, we can go to another title. I think this title is so important also when it talks about okay here so the importance of context in language education. I think one of the questions in PhD was this. So the polarities mentioned above can be traced to the old age duality of language as a text and language as context because this is so good. So you will find a lot of titles. I think you also have discourse analysis, even if it's you can pick some quotes, and even if you think they are out of your subject for maybe even literature, but trust me, the way they spoke tackles the subject of language teaching is amazing. I know it's a subject that I may have I'm overreacting concerning this book, but this is so nice. I was checking my old library and I just found this, and I would recommend. I will upload it to my Facebook page. If you are reading this, if you're seeing this on YouTube, you will find my Facebook page. You can check and I will put it there. Of course, you know the policy of uploading books is kind of problematic, so be quick concerning that. So thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was short and I'm sorry concerning the quality of the video itself. So thank you so much. Best of luck and see you inshallah on next video.